Hello, fourth graders. It's time for lesson 7.11. We are coming to the end of unit 7 here. We are going to get into your math journal first. So go ahead and open up to page 258, please. And before we do that, we are going to review what we know about pounds and ounces. What do you remember? Do you remember the conversion? What do you remember about pounds and ounces? Okay, when we're changing pounds to ounces, there are 16 ounces in a pound. Okay, equals 1 pound, LB for pound. And so when we're converting those, right, if we have when we want to convert 3 pounds and we want to convert it into ounces, we're going to always be doing times 16. So there it is. There's a fancy version of it. Okay, so 1 pound equals 16 ounces. We're going to start right here. And this one you know how to do. You've done that before. So I'll give you a moment. I'd like for you to fill out that one by multiplying those times 16. Okay, so you've got all of those answers there. They're also, right, on our measurement scales, right? So if you have 3 pounds, right, you should have 48 ounces. I'm not going to fill those all out, and you need to make sure that you do that work. But now let's come over here because let's think. All right, what if we had half of a pound? So we know that 1 pound is 16 ounces, right? I will put that here. So half of a pound would be half of that 16, which equals 8. What if we had 1/8 of a pound, right? So think about that. If we had 16 ounces divided into 8 groups, and we kept one of those, right? Because it says 1 out of 8 groups. So if we had 16 and we divided it into 8 groups, each group would have 2, right? Because 16 divided by 8 equals 2. All right, I want you to take a shot here at this 1/4. If you know 1 pound is 16 ounces and you wanted to get 1/4, right? You wanted to split this into 4 equal groups. How many would you have? You would have 4, right? 16 divided by 4 equals 4. And then if we had 3 of those 4 groups, right? If we know 1/4 is 4, 2/4, which is the same as 1/2 is 8, then 3/4 has to be 12. Okay, so we're going to use these as we go through some problems. Our goal here is going to be converting pounds and fractions of pounds to ounces, and that works with our measurement standards. And of course, we've got some word problems, as you can see, coming up here. Mr. White's actually going to model with number 4, so you should write what I write. But you're going to watch me and listen to me as I think through how I would do this. The question is, which weighs more? 5 7/8 pound greater roadrunners from New Mexico. Okay, so these are birds. All right, these are all birds. So 5 of these birds from New Mexico, or 4 1 1/8 pound ruffed grouse from Pennsylvania. All right, so I've got 5 birds on one side, 4 birds on another side, and I need to figure out which weighs more. Okay, well, first I need to figure out, well, how much do the roadrunners weigh? And so there's 5 of them, right? 5 groups of 7/8. 5 times 7 is 35. 35/8. Now I need to change that into a mixed number, of course, right? So how many 8s are in 35? 8, 16, 24, 32, 4. And if I got to 32, then 3 would be left over. So this number, I like to label my numbers as I go, and you should too, right? This is the amount of pounds for the roadrunners. Call that roadrunners. This is how much the 4 roadrunners weigh. Now I need to figure out how much the ruffed grouse weigh. And you know what? Let's Let's make this so that we can see even better, right? Whoop. Can I extend that page? Oh, it had me draw a nice line through there. All right, there we go. There's some room to work. So the grouse there's 4 of them, and they weigh 1 1/8 pound. So you can see we've got a lot of our skills that we have been doing recently kind of all rolled up into one here. So I'm going to use my partial products here, and I'm going to multiply each part. So I have 4 times 1 and 4 times 1/8. Well, 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 1/8 is 4/8. So put those together, and this is 4 4/8. That was nice and clean. I didn't have anything to convert. So this is how much, this is how many pounds, LB for pounds. Then this is the ruffed grouse. We'll call them RG. So we know that they are 4 4/8 pound. We know that the Roadrunners are 4 3/8 pound. So which ones are bigger? Well, the ruffed grouse. And so that's what I'm going to write right here, because it says, which weighs more? Ruffed grouse. You should write this down too. How many ounces more? Okay, so how many more, how much bigger, how much taller? Those are all looking for the difference, right? You can always substitute easy numbers in here and, to figure out which way. So let's imagine one bird weighed, 5 pounds and the other bird weighed 3 pounds. Those are big birds, right? How much more does one weigh? Well, it weighs 2 more. Okay, so this is a subtracting problem, and I need to subtract these 2, 4 3/8 and 4 4/8. Well, if you're thinking, you can kind of already figure out what it's going to be when I subtract, because these are really close. We're just going to get 1/8. Now, that is 1/8 of a pound. The difference is 1/8 of a pound, but I need to write how many ounces more. Well, look what we did. Remember when we did this over here? Boop, boop, boop. 1/8 of a pound equals 2 ounces. So that's my answer. And that's what I'm going to put right down here. Okay, so we have to make sure we notice, are we talking about pounds? Are we talking about ounces? Okay, that's going to be important here. The problem we are going to do together is number 5. So you should definitely be writing these down. Otherwise, you're going to have to all do them all by yourself. And, you could do that, but it would be a whole lot easier just to follow along with the video here. All right, take a look at that problem, and I want you to read it to yourself and tell me what it is about. Okay, Alaska's Willow, I think that's a silent P, so Tarmagan is about twice as much as the weight of 3 2 9/10 ounce brown thrashers. These are all birds. Okay, if you want to, if you have permission, you can look up to see what these birds look like. What is the weight of a willow ptarmigan? All right, so the willow ptarmigan is twice as much as 3 of these brown thrashers. So what do we need to figure out first? We got to figure out how much the 3 brown thrashers are. Okay, what math problem do you think we should do to find the weight of 3 brown thrashers? Okay, you're right. If you said we're going to multiply 3 times 2 9/8. 3 times, did I say 9/8? 9/10. 2 9/10. So remember, we have our partial products method here. This is the one that is pretty efficient. 3 times 2 and 3 times 9/10. All right, I know 3 times 2 is 6. What's 3 times 9/10? Okay, if you said 27/10, that's mostly right, but I want you to get in the habit of changing these into mixed numbers, because we can't really leave it like that. So how many 10s are in 27? 2, right? And then there would be 7 left over. really what these are just little division problems, right? That's really just this. 27 divided by 10. How many? 2 and 7 left over, right? So 7, and we were dividing by 10. 2 and 7/10. All right, so this is how much 3 of those brown thrashers weigh. Label, right? This is 3. We'll call them BTs. Oh, look at that. BTS. Oh. Yep, Mr. White knows who BTS is. But the Willow Tarmagan is twice as much as them. So what is the problem that you think we should do if the Willow Tarmagan is twice as much as these brown thrashers? We need to multiply that times 2. Okay, and you're going to get to do this one all by yourself. 2 times 2 and 7/10. How much would that be? Okay, let's check. 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 times 7/10. 2 times 7 is 14. 14/10, but need to get it out of there, right? How many 10s are in 14? 1, and then 4/10 left over, right? Remember, that's just, this 14/10 is the same as 10/10 plus 4/10. Well, 10/10 is 1 whole. So now we're going to put these two together and get 5 and 4/10. There is our answer. That's pounds, right? And that's a big bird. It's not the big bird, right? Not the actual big bird, but that's a very large bird. Well, good, because it's not, okay, good. It's not pounds, it's ounces, because, boy, I was thinking that would be pretty crazy. So ounces, 5 and 4/10. Now, let's put that right here, 5 and 4/10. Is that more or less than 1 pound? Well, how many ounces are in a pound? 16. So is this more or less? It's less, right? This is less than 16. How much more or less, right? So what's the difference? 16 minus 5 and 4/10. All right, you're going to subtract this. Do not say 11 and 4/10. 11 and 4/10 is wrong. I want you to subtract that. Okay, so, right, this is like 16 and 0/10. So we're going to borrow. And now we have 10/10 over here. And when we subtract, we get 10 and 6/10. 10 and 6/10. If we wanted to write it as a decimal, 6/10 would be 0.6, right? 10.6. All right, you get to work on the others, and we are trying to try this. We have actually done about half the page. We did number 1, so you're doing number 2, number 3. We already did number 4 and number 5. You are trying out the try this problems. You are doing number 6, and I believe there's one more. Whenever my work is done here, there it is. Number 7. So you're finishing these problems here on Math Journal, page 259. Okay. Our objective here today, we're converting pounds and fractions of pounds to ounces. We're working with our word problem skills as well. If you need any help with any of these, let me know. And good luck.